Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of the organizing. It's okay. No. The truth is.
So what if the one thing standing between you and true healing isn't a diagnosis, a diet, or even your doctor, but something deeper, something unspoken? Today's guest is Hanna Kok, a coach, speaker, and author with over 30 years of experience in the body-mind-spirit connection. She's not just helping women rebalance their hormones. She's rewriting the way we think about wellness. As a certified educational kinesiologist, allergy practitioner, and medical intuitive, Hanna helps women restore their well-being without medication, hormones, surgery, or even lifestyle changes. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hanna says the root of our physical distress often lies in something many of us carry silently: unforgiveness. In her words, unforgiveness is the silent poison, wreaking havoc on our hormonal balance, immune system, and emotional resilience. So in this conversation, we're going to dive into how unresolved emotional pain can literally make us sick, and how forgiveness isn't just a spiritual act, but a biological one. So have you ever felt stuck in your healing, or you're searching for answers beyond conventional medicine? You're going to want to hear what Hanna has to share. So grab your coffee, your water, whatever you're going to drink, and get ready to take notes, because you're going to learn a lot on this one. How you doing, Hanna?
I'm doing great, and thank you for this wonderful introduction. And,
my honor.
Yeah. I also want to thank your listeners, by the way, because listeners, for you to take time to listen to the podcast, I really appreciate that you do that. And I'm here to share as much of my knowledge with you so that you can benefit and have a different healing experience.
And we've talked about forgiveness every once in a while on here, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But you spent over 30 years working with the body-mind-spirit connection. What actually sparked your journey into this kind of healing work?
But it's funny how it happened. It was actually fate, because what happened was I was a teacher at first, a chemistry and biology teacher. And then I thought, well, I've been going from school to school to school. I just changed side of the desk. So I wanted to experience something about life so that I could share that with the kids in the classroom. Right. And I ended up going for 6 months to explore the world. And I had organized myself to go to a little country called Lesotho. Now, I'm from the Netherlands originally. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lesotho, but no. If you look, I also never heard of it when I saw it. I thought, where's this? I better know where it is before I go there. But if you look at the map of South Africa, there's always a little pimple in there.
Okay.
And that is Lesotho. It's a little mountain kingdom.
Oh, wow.
And I was going to go for 6 months, and then I ended up meeting my husband there, and I stayed. And then while I was there, we were studying something called inner light consciousness. And through there, I got introduced to somebody who was teaching the educational kinesiology. And she loved coming to our little village that we lived, because it was a real Africa experience. Our
Huh.
car park, sorry, last one. Our car park was filled with horses and donkeys. That's how isolated it was.
Wow. Now, do you still live there now, or?
No.
Okay.
My husband passed away, and then I
Oh, I'm
moved to South
sorry.
Africa. No, but that's where my forgiveness story started. So,
Oh, all right. So for those who might not be familiar, can you break down what an educational kinesiologist, allergy practitioner, and medical intuitive actually do?
right. So, what we all do is we work with the body to make changes in your mind, or actually the medical intuitive works with the mind and then creates changes in the body. So as an educational kinesiologist, another word for it is brain gym. Some people maybe have heard of brain gym, but we use movement. And through movement, we now make new connections in the brain. Because if I, for example, move my right arm and my left leg at the same time, and vice versa, I make that movement. Now I'm using both sides of the brain, and then it gives me the ability to see pictures and the details at the same time. And then if I have it with a goal, then I can find out what is blocking me and then shift it through movement. That's what educational kinesiology does. And what I liked about it was, as I said, I left the Netherlands, that's where I'm from,
Right.
to find out about life. And then we were studying, and this guy had this 9-step emotional process, and it was all about changing your attitude. And then it was, the first one was recognize you have emotion. And the last step was now change your behavior. And I'm going like, how do you do that? It's not that easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to shift on that subconscious level for that new behavior to kick in and that it feels natural. Now, when you start using movement or visualizations or working on the body with acupressure points,
Right.
you making a shift on that subconscious level. And then the change becomes natural.
Oh. Interesting. Now, and that's what an educational kinesiologist does.
Yes.
Now, what about the allergy practitioner?
Right.
Probably not what we think, right?
Say that again? The last
It's
bit?
probably not what we think, is it?
Well, maybe it is. I'm not sure what you're thinking. So the allergy practitioner, it's all about overcoming your allergies. So instead of changing your diet, instead of avoiding the allergens or taking medication, you can re-educate the body to be in harmony with the allergens, and then you can introduce it again.
Oh, yeah, that's not what I was thinking at all.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking with an allergy practitioner, I was thinking medicine and all that to help control your allergies.
Yeah, no. I don't like controlling things because that means I have to avoid things or take medication.
Right.
And
yeah, you're not fixing it.
No.
It's just you're putting a Band-Aid on it, basically. And anybody knows if something's broken, you want it fixed, not just temporary. And what about the medical intuitive?
So with the medical intuitive, that is something I also really love, is where the emotions get stored in the body. So when we have emotions, this is now a bit of the biology teacher coming out here, we have neuropeptides floating through the bloodstream, and they lock onto cells, and they create reactions in the cells, and they stay there. They keep giving that signal to the cell until we release those emotions, until we release the traumas that we experience. We make peace with them. Forgiveness is part of that, or can be part of that. And then that is released from the cells, and then the cells can calm down again and start healing. And with the medical intuitive training, you learn to read a person's energy, and also knowing, if you have stomach problems or, your gut problems, It's not always about what you eat. It's all the experiences that we have piled up or that we experienced that we
Right.
experienced as abuse affects the gut. But if we have things around separation that we want to feel separated or want to push people away, or we struggle to feel loved and give love, then we end up with skin problems. So
Right.
different issues will manifest differently in the body. And when you resolve it, the body can heal itself without medication, without diet changes, without lifestyle changes.
Getting rid of those toxins inside.
But get rid of the emotional toxins.
That, yes, not the, yeah. And I think that's, I don't think a lot of people understand that, yeah, you carry emotional toxins within you and you can release them, get rid of them, which I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit here. So you actually specialize in helping women balance their hormones without medication, hormones, surgery, or even lifestyle changes. How's that possible?
Well, it comes back again a little bit to what I said. We've got these poisons stuck in there. But what is interesting, have you heard of meridians and the acupuncturists that stick needles in the body?
Yeah.
Right? So the for your listeners that don't know what meridians are, they are basically the energy pathways that our life force runs through the body, and they have been scientifically proven. They when they were busy with finding if they were true, people would inject radioactive material in the beginning point of the meridian, and then they would see that radioactive material would follow that exact route that they already knew was there for thousands of years. So
right.
Now, these meridians, we've got 14 major meridians. 12 of them are linked to organs, and one of them is called the circulation sex meridian, which is linked to the heart sac, which runs our hormonal system. And our thinking has an effect on the flow of the energy going through those meridians. So if we have fearful thoughts, the meridians flow will inhibit it. When we have more loving thoughts, they open up. And each meridian has a specific thought pattern linked to them. And what is the thought pattern that inhibits the flow of the circulation sex meridian is holding grudges.
Okay.
And the antidote is forgiveness.
Which it seems forgiveness can be the antidote for a lot of things, I believe.
Absolutely.
And I want to get into that because you describe unforgiveness as the silent poison, which Correct. I 100% agree with. But what does that mean for the listeners? What does that mean, and how did you come to this realization?
Well, as I said to you already, what I learned with the training, but also with my own experience, I lost my husband. It was not a natural cause. So forgiveness, I had to forgive the people that were involved. And I could see the people around me who struggled with forgiveness having health problems. Now, I was very fortunate that I had learned about forgiveness before it all happened. So I was quick that I realized, I need to forgive people because I need to move on with my life.
Right.
And not get stuck in pain and the big why question that people ask, like, why is this happening to me? And then they get stuck. So then now let's go back. So the question was, how did I come to this? So I learned, I could see that people that are not forgiving were getting sick. That was the main thing.
Emotionally and physically sick.
Yeah, physically sick. And if you look at cancer, for example, those people have experienced major hurt and have not come to terms with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what I've done, and And this is also my gift that I have for your listeners. I just want to tell a little bit about it. And then at the end, we can tell how they can get hold of it. But that thinking, we have so much emotional dirt, rubbish floating around in our minds, stuck in the bodies. We never release it, or hardly ever. We might be working with affirmations. We're told to put positive statements in, but where does the rubbish go that you've been thinking about or that you've been holding on for so many years? And that rubbish can be that you're angry or frustrated, but it can also be like, I'm useless, I'm worthless, I'm no good. I mean, we talk to ourselves really badly, at least most of us. The guilt, the shame, there's so much stuff in there. And I've created a web app called I Thrive, where I've put all the information together, what I've learned from the different modalities and what I'm still learning, and created these audio recordings. And they have some affirmations in there, but I have a lot of releasing statements release statements. So I release my anger, I release my frustration, I release whatever it is. So there's a lot of releasing taking place. And then we put other uplifting statements in there, releasing some limiting beliefs, putting others in there. And I'll tell you more about that, but that is what your listeners can download.
Tell us now. Yeah, I was going to say, tell us now. Let's not wait.
Okay, so I've got specific ones for hormones. But these are now for the general hormones. So these are the unisex hormones. So not so much about the estrogen and the progesterone and the testosterone and all of those, but we've got so many hormones, the dopamine, the serotonin, and all you have to do is go to my name, Hanna Kok. Now, how you spell Hanna, I know English people love to put an H at the end of Hanna, so you are allowed to do that. But the surname has to be K-O-K. So you can do Hanna with the H at the end and Hanna without the H at the end. But the surname has to be Kok, and then, so it's hannakok.com.
Easy to remember.
Yeah. And there you'll get these hormone I Thrives, and there's some other special gifts in there as well. So if you sign up for that, it's super easy, and you can there for you to keep. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that's going to help people forgive.
Well, there is a forgiveness course in there that teach people to forgive if they don't know how to forgive. It's about 7 short videos, about 5 minutes there. But there is also in the recordings, are recordings about releasing grudges and being willing to forgive and to forgive. That is in there. But what is the good news about those recordings is no active listening is required. You can just play them softly in the background and the subconscious mind will absorb them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, because most people say, oh, no, I don't want to listen to something more. No, you just put them on and I play mine while I sleep.
I was just going to ask you, can you somehow or another link it up with either, I got to watch how, I don't want to say the name because she'll come on, Lexi, that Lexa thing, or even the Google, can it sync up with them?
Well, it is a web. I don't know enough about that.
Okay.
I don't use those. I don't want somebody listening in to my house all the time.
So it's on your phone then?
No, but you can play it on your computer.
Right. Okay.
You can play it on anything with an internet connection.
I'm thinking, because I'm thinking when you go to sleep to have that playing in the background.
I do.
Okay.
So I play it on my phone super softly.
Right.
In the background, but I know people want to maybe hear what I'm saying, so you can turn the volume up and hear so there's nothing hidden. And if you play it on the computer, you can have 2 tabs open, one with the music of your choice, and the other one you can play the I Thrives, and you could cover them if that's what you want.
That's pretty smart. I like that. All right. So with forgiveness, because this is something that's always irked me.
Right.
I want to know how you deal with this. People that say they can never forgive either somebody or something. How do you deal with that?
If I have them with me in person, there's one thing that I do that is something what we do in kinesiology is called muscle testing. So what I'll do is I get the person to stick their arm out, and then I will push on their arm. So now in this case, I'm pushing on my own arm.
Right.
But I'll feel how hard can I push that I can hold the arm up and give maximum pressure. But I adjust my pressure to what they can still hold the arm up. Because if you're much stronger than the other person, you can always push it down, and that's not the idea. You want to find that point where they can just hold it up and you can push. And so you think of something pleasant and they can hold it up easily. And then you say, now think of that person that you're upset with. And it goes zoop, down.
Oh, wow.
The arm comes down. And that person can be dead for decades.
Right.
And the arm still comes down. So then I'm telling the client, well, do you want to give your precious life force to the person you least want to have it? Because they are now in charge of your energy. They are robbing your joy. So forgiveness is all about you and has nothing to do with the other person. Now, there are reasons why people don't want to forgive, some misconceptions.
Yes, thank you.
One is when you forgive, you do not have to forget.
Right.
When you forgive, you do not have to let that person back into your life. When you forgive, doesn't mean to say, I condone your behavior, I approve of your behavior. No. What it means is, I accept it happened, and I'm choosing to let it go.
And what happens to that person once they do that? Once they forgive?
You know what? The energy comes back. When they understand also, another thing is I help people understand why it happened. Because, for example, somebody is really rude to you.
Yeah.
Then I ask them, how rude are you, to yourself?
Oh, damn. Oh, wow. That's
Because,
strong.
I know it's not easy to hear always.
Yeah.
However, this is what this famous major teacher was teaching 2,000 years ago about removing the beam from our own eye before removing the speck from the eye from somebody else. What we see in others is in us, but we don't treat others badly. We treat ourselves badly. Yeah. And then I say, okay, so they have to often admit, like they treat themselves really badly. And then I say, well, how can you expect anybody to treat you with respect if you don't do that?
Wow. Okay. Because I know a lot of people listening probably thinking, well, wait a minute, how am I rude to myself? Which I have some ideas how you can be rude to yourself. But explain that. How can somebody actually be rude to themselves?
Well, I love telling this story. When my son was younger, one of my children was younger, and he was doing homework, and he was struggling with the math, and he was saying, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. And so then I said, man, you're so stupid. And he got so angry with me. And I just said it. I said, because I wanted to make him aware what he was saying to himself. Not that I felt he was stupid. And he got so angry with me. I said, well, you just were calling yourself stupid all the time. So I can do it too.
Yeah.
And that is what happens. People treat us the way we treat ourselves. A good example also is How many people do you know that put themselves last all the time?
Yes.
Well, how disrespectful is that? And then they get angry that nobody takes them into consideration.
Mm.
Now, the key is not to feel guilty about it, because then that is not the solution. The solution is you think, how do I want to be treated by them? I want them to listen to me. I want them to be patient with me. Whatever that advice you have for them, and apply that advice to yourself. How can I be more kind to myself? How can I be more patient with myself? How can I encourage myself? I always say, if we could treat ourselves the way we treat a young child,
Mm-hmm.
with that patience and understanding and kindness, the world would be such a lovely place.
And I guarantee you, when people do that, when they stop being rude to themselves, when they learn how to forgive, they're going to feel 100% better, not just emotionally, but I think physically too, because I do believe people that are overweight, this would definitely help them.
Oh,
I know it's helped me. It's helped me.
Definitely, because when you're overweight, you have a need, it's a blanket you've got, a need for protection. The only problem is you're trying to protect yourself from yourself. Most of the time, at least you're part of the problem. And again, this is not to make you feel guilty. The first thing to do is forgive yourself for treating yourself like those others, and forgiving yourself for needing others to show you how you've been treating yourself. Now forgiveness becomes easy because I'm actually forgiving the reflection in the mirror.
I'm glad you mentioned the mirror part. So when somebody is forgiving, a lot of times you can't forgive somebody in person because, like you said before, they're no longer around. You don't want communication with them or anything. Forgiving something that's happened to you, because a lot of people don't realize that. They think when you're forgiving you can only forgive somebody, but not something. Is it always a good practice to look in the mirror and mention what you're forgiving? Because this way, I think when you're looking at yourself, it just makes it that much stronger.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you can do that. That you physically look in the mirror, you can definitely do that. Although I personally don't. It's not needed per se.
Right.
But I do want to say is forgiveness is a private affair. I hardly ever talk to the person that I feel I have to forgive or who I have to ask forgiveness for. It's a private affair. I don't go and speak to the mirror in a different way than you were doing, because remember, those people were showing me how I was treating myself. I don't have to now, like the mirror will show me how I've dressed today. I don't have to forgive the mirror for showing me how I've dressed today or how I treated myself. I need to forgive myself for treating myself badly, needing that person in my life to show me what I've been doing. Those are the things I forgive myself for. Now, there's a whole lot of things that happen when you do. First of all, as I said, you start releasing those toxins from the body, and you definitely have more energy, because a lot of your energy can be taken up by this thing milling in your head. Now you have that life force available again to you to repair the body, to restore the body, for your immune system, and for enjoying life more. Definitely. I've seen that. I've seen aches and pains disappear. I've seen people heal faster, even if they still need medical treatment. Sometimes they do. But they respond much faster. So there's a lot of things happen.
I want to take a moment to talk about something really exciting. See, we love partnering with reputable businesses, companies that are making a difference, providing top-notch services, and building trust in their communities. And if that sounds like you, I want to invite you to become a sponsor. Sponsoring the podcast and Harford County Living isn't just about advertising. It's about real connections. You'll get premium exposure across our podcast, websites, and social media, putting your brand in front of an engaged, loyal audience. And here's the best part. Right now, we have limited sponsorship spots available for the year. And if you pay annually, you'll get 25% off. You heard me right. 25% off. And you're going to love this even more. That rate is locked in for the lifetime of your sponsorship. So even if those levels go up 5-10 years from now, you're paying what you pay now. That's it. So if you're looking for a strategic way to grow your business and reach the right people, let's talk. Email me at richbennett@danben.com. That's DANBEN.com. And let's make 2025 an unforgettable year for your brand and into the future. Do you think that forgiveness should be a daily practice?
I forgive myself all the time.
Yeah.
For little things, but just like, I forgive myself for not getting something right, for being emotionally upset, for taking things personally, for holding on to guilt. And then the big thing is also, and that's where that app also helps so much,
right,
is to release the guilt and the shame and all of that. You want to let that go.
All right. I love asking my guests this, especially since you're helping so many people out. And I know you probably have a ton of feel-good stories, but can you share, you don't have to use names, share one or two, and you already shared one of feel-good stories of how you've helped people out with forgiveness?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I'll especially also on the hormonal side is one that I want to do.
Okay.
So, and I am allowed to use her name. Major Jooste is an army sergeant, or major, I mean. And she was struggling with her periods really badly. 5 to 10 days of heavy bleeding, with severe pain. Now, can you imagine being in the field without public toilets or running water, heavy bleeding?
Oh, my God.
Surrounded by men.
Yeah, she had to be miserable.
She called herself a major from hell. She was really... And then on top of it, she was also on other medication, which was quite strong and struggling with allergies as well. And then what happened... I worked with her, she used my app, and we used forgiveness work. Within 3 months, just 3 months, right? No more heavy bleeding. Pain gone. Her other medication dropped by 90% in strength. No more allergies.
No more allergies?
No more allergies. No more allergies. No. She used, I know, I have, so I'm giving the people the hormonal section, but I do have a paid section as well that people can sign up for a small fee, really super affordable. And there she used that and she got rid of the allergies, even without me doing any coaching first. She just used that for the allergies. And she had been on... strong medication for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, do you only work with women?
No. I also have a great story of a guy. So he had a rare blood disorder where he didn't make blood platelets. So his blood wouldn't clot if he would have a wound, right?
Okay.
And we then found out that he had experienced betrayal.
Oh.
We resolved the betrayal, helped him understand why it was in his life. We forgave all parties involved and especially himself. He still needed a bone marrow transfusion, actually. I could not prevent that, but the doctors were amazed at how fast he recovered, much faster than anybody else they'd seen.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, the allergy part really gets me, and I think what you're doing needs to be done everywhere because, and I'm going to bring something up. Make sure I get it right. My great niece, her Girl Scout troop had to get their bronze award. They put together a thing talking about different health things like CPR, allergies, and all that. And she's got the peanut allergy.
Okay.
And something that blew me away, and I never knew this because now here in the United States, Narcan, you a lot of places will give you Narcan for free.
What is Narcan?
Narcan helps if somebody's overdosing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you use the Narcan and hopefully it'll help them, which you can get for free. However, the one thing which blew me away, because when you have an allergy, they prescribe the EpiPen, which is like $1,300 here. It's not cheap.
Mm-mm.
More people die of allergies than overdoses. And I didn't understand why these EpiPens are not in all restaurants, or I think everybody should have one if that's the case. But my point is, you're helping people that have allergies and they're not using medicine, right?
Right, but I do want a big disclaimer here. Disclaimer, because I am not allowed to tell you that I'm going to help you with those anaphylactic allergies.
Right, everybody's different.
Although I did help one lady that accidentally discovered that she got rid of her anaphylactic allergy because she and her husband, so her husband had a rare autoimmune disorder, Guillain-Barré or something, where you being left paralyzed, and this was just before COVID, and they had expensive medication in hospital, and then people were sent home because of COVID. And so they started listening to my allergy app and a specific ones for the autoimmune disorders. And they listened to it every night for months on end. Because in the paid version, there are a lot of subjects, but your listeners can start playing around with the free version on the hormones, right? They listened to the paid version for months on end, and then one day, his wife was anaphylactic for honey, cooked honey. Yeah.
Wow.
If it was in anything, she would get rashes, and it could get really bad. And one day she was eating some sort of biscuit, and the husband was looking on the packaging. He says, there was honey in this biscuit. She had no reaction.
Oh, wow. All right. So what you do, it takes time then.
Well, it's all about re-educating the subconscious mind. And so and with the allergies, there's a whole lot of things. It's about not just that you're allergic for the peanuts or the honey or something. We're already sensitive for the protein, the calcium, all the food groups. We don't absorb them properly because when we have conflict while you're eating something, and that's why it's so bad to fight at the dinner table, your body thinks now, oh, it's this food that is causing me to feel so bad. And you start to want to reject it. That's how allergies can form. And then you pass it also on to future generations. So in the program that I have, they're often like a 30-day program, each day slightly different, re-educating the body to get into harmony with the food groups. Now, with the free version that I give, there are 9 different audios But the others, as I say, they're 30. But even with the free one, you'll start also noticing that you crave sugar less, because that is also like an allergy. Because when you are allergic to something, you either crave it, because what in my training, we say anything you have an overreaction to, you either crave it or you can't stand it, right? So sugar, a lot of us crave it. And I've noticed that since I've been listening to these iThrives, I don't crave sugar like I used to. I can walk past the checkout and all the chocolate bars that they place so nicely at the checkout points. No, I can leave those.
I walk past them now too. I used to get yelled at because I do all the grocery shopping, and every time I would get home, my wife would look at the receipt. She goes, "Oh, I see you got another Twix bar or a Kit Kat bar or whatever." And then when I started, losing weight by counting my calories and just meditating more and everything else, I ignore them.
Yeah,
I don't want them. It's just that craving is gone. This app, to me, it sounds like it would be a wonderful present as well for people, especially that have allergies and for anything really.
Yeah, well, people can go to iThrive.zone, not .com, iThrive.zone, and then you can sign up there. You can read more about it. But also, if you sign up for the free version that I'm giving you, then you will also get there something. And there is, at this stage, I still have, when you go there, you can sign up for free for 35 days. I might change that now because I used to do that as my giveaway. I've changed it now to this permanent giveaway. But as I said, it is like so affordable. It's around $10 a month. It's so affordable.
That's cheap.
That's nothing. Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper than prescriptions.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, all right, what advice would you give to someone listening who's struggling to forgive either others or themselves?
If you struggle to forgive, know that you are trying to poison somebody by drinking the poison yourself. So forgiveness is for you. If you're struggling to forgive, notice, how is your health right now? How many aches and pains do you have? How low is your energy? And if you come to a point that you say, I've had enough of feeling the way I feel, then it's time to forgive. And again, if you sign up for that free gift, go to hannakok.com. There is a free forgiveness course in there, and I explained to you what we talked about. You can see it there. Process, there's a process, a forgiveness process, words that I give you, you can use for that forgiveness process as well.
How long's the app been out?
Well, it's a web app. I've been at it very long. So I've been working for a long time, but I haven't been able to, marketing these things. I've been trying to get onto the App Store, but that I didn't manage to do that because of the requirements that I had. So people said, you can use my product. And because I have multiple audios and that have to loop and you want to combine different audios, those programs then didn't work for what I wanted. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how can someone start reconnecting with their own body and inner wisdom if they feel completely out of sync?
Meditation is always great. However, sometimes we need a coach. You cannot pull yourself out of a hole, or it takes so long. But if you work like a person like me or a coach of your choice, like I said, I have helped people get out of their situation within 3 months, sometimes at one session. It depends on what it is. No athlete would consider getting to the top without a coach. If you doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that you want to get somewhere different from where you are now. You want to raise the bar for yourself and get somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Don't go and listen to everybody else's advice. if they haven't walked their talk, you don't go, what do they say? You don't go to the car mechanic to get your teeth done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you think about it, before we started recording, I told you I was messaging somebody that I mentor. A lot of people have mentors. There's nothing wrong with having a coach as well. And I think people, technically, in a way, depending on who you're talking to, sometimes they're coaching you and you don't even know it. But if you have a coach that knows what they're doing, it makes a big difference, a huge difference, which is why y'all need to get a hold of Hanna. Just saying.
Absolutely. And also, especially if people struggle with forgiveness.
Yes.
There is.
And I think a lot of people do and don't realize it.
Yeah, they don't. And one of the things we don't realize is all the childhood trauma that we carry. We either carry it consciously or subconsciously. It shaped us tremendously. And I've developed techniques that when I work with a client, instead of taking 10 sessions for one issue, so rehashing it, I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We do revisit, but we might revisit 3 things in one session. It's about reframing, forgiving, letting go.
Yeah.
Letting go. Letting go is the most important thing.
And I'm glad you brought up trauma. In your view, how are, let's say, unresolved trauma and chronic health issues connected?
They are directly connected. Okay. Because if you have, like I said, if you have a strong emotional reaction, did you know it actually leaves a mark on the brain? And then you have to be trained to see it. You can see it with CT scans.
Right.
And then it will affect the body part that is linked to that section in the brain. So particular traumas, if you have separation conflicts, issues with, it will affect the skin. But if you have what they call a nest worry conflict, where you feel like somebody was ripped from the family, or you trying to nurture somebody back to health and you're not able, then you end up with breast cancer. So each illness has specific things, but childhood trauma also will affect what type of relationship you end up attracting. Yeah. So if you've feel abandoned by your father, you will attract a man in your life that is going to be that infamous narcissistic person that people love talking about. But the funny thing is, when you resolve the trauma, I've seen it with my clients, the abuse stops naturally and you don't always have to get a divorce or separation.
The other thing is, too, because we cover addiction a lot on here, and it's a lot of times people that are in addiction, it's from the childhood trauma. And women, God, because actually, those listening, because some people listening to this episode may not listen to the ones that where we talk about people in recovery. What role does trauma play in addiction or hormonal imbalances, especially in women?
I don't know about especially in women, but the whole thing is, if you have an unresolved trauma, it's like a hole in your heart.
Yeah.
And yes, if you feel unlovable, if you feel worthless, anything like that, and then you're going to struggle with addictions, definitely. And if you resolve it, then overcoming addictions is a breeze. Well, relative breeze.
Now, and do you actually work with people that are in addiction?
Yes, I do. And actually, with my iThrives, I have also, because the iThrives have like 12 or more different subjects. Right. And one of them is overcome addictions. And just from people listening to the iThrives, they stop smoking, they drink less. Yeah.
All right, wait a minute. What doesn't the I Thrive cover?
I don't know. There's a wide range of topics there. You're going to have to check it
Wow.
out.
Mental health, everything is like, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what's one thing you wish every person knew about the relationship between emotions and physical health?
I want people to know that people think their thoughts are private and their emotions are private. But they forget that they have, depending if you're a man or a woman, between 26 trillion or 36 trillion listeners. Your cells are listening and feeling everything you feel, hearing every thought that you have, and will respond to that.
All right. Hannah, you ready for this question?
I hope so.
This is a deep question.
Okay.
What's your definition of true well-being?
True well-being is that we accept ourselves as we are, warts and all, and that we have some sort of connection with the divine.
It didn't take you long to think of that either. I love that answer. All right. So before I get to my last question, which I have no idea what it's going to be, well, you'll understand why in a minute. Is there anything you would like to add? All the websites and everything, and how people can get in touch with you.
Well, really, change starts within.
Mm-hmm.
It can start with a chat with me. I offer a free chat as well if people want assistance. So if they sign up, they will get emails from me with links if they want to sign up for a free chat. Nothing is going to change unless you change from the inside. Change is an inside job. So don't wait for external stuff to change.
And what are all the links for the websites?
Well, the main thing is go to hannakok.com.
Okay.
From there, they will hear more about the iThrives, but they can go to iThrive.zone. I think those are enough. Those two are enough.
And when you start a podcast, have you thought about doing your own podcast?
I know. No, I haven't thought of it yet. I love being guests on other people's podcasts.
Okay. Well, which is smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to get, because a lot of times when you're going out on several different other podcasts to offer what you're offering, you're reaching more listeners than, say, if you were just doing it just on your podcast alone.
Exactly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you've also written some books as well.
I have written a book, Happy Ever After, Make Your Relationships Flourish, but yes, I actually have it here, but I'm busy rewriting it. That's why I have it here. I'm rewriting it. So wait, a new one should come out towards the end of the year or early next year, called Bitter or Better. It's your choice. And it's
I love that.
And it's a guide to living happily ever after, or a guide to happy ever after living, something like that. It's going to be the second edition, a lot more information in it. So rather wait. You can get it on Amazon, but rather wait till the next one comes out.
Okay. All right. So for my last question, and like I said, I have no idea what it's going to be. I started something different, and I have 100 different questions here. And somehow or another, my guest, whatever number they've picked, somehow or another, most of the time, the question aligns with what we've been talking about. So I need you to pick a number between 1 and 100 and tell me why you picked that number. That way I have enough time to look for the question.
Oh, okay. Okay, because the number that I would have chosen is not in there. Well, I would have chosen 118. That is a special number for me. So let me go with 11.
118.
Because that used to be my postbox number in Lesotho. Then I moved to another area that had then the plot number I used to live on was also 118. And then later I learned, well, 11 is their angel numbers and the 8 is about prosperity. So I like 118, but I'll go with 11.
Number 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I was looking at number 18. Go back up to number 11, Rich.
Oh, and then go
Okay.
to 8. Yeah, I was thinking about the two. If you're at 18, give me 18.
Okay,
That's
I'll give you
great.
8. Okay. Oh, okay. What's a simple pleasure in life that you believe is often overlooked?
A simple pleasure in life that's often overlooked. Just being with people that you love. You can sit together, don't have to say anything. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. And with that, bring back the family dinners. Sit
yes,
down and have dinner with the
definitely.
family.
Sit down without TV on.
Yeah. And if all the kids are grown up, invite them over for dinner. It's the only way I can get my son to come over to the house now.
My husband and I, we always sit down for dinner.
Yeah. My wife and I do too. We'll sit down together, and now it's funny because don't yell at me, but we'll put the TV on, but there's certain shows we watch and we'll sit there and talk about the show, and we're so connected with this. And here's the funny thing. One of them is a baking show, and we've both been losing weight. It's like, God, that cake looks very good. And it's almost like it's feeding us, but we're not making the cake. Does that make sense? And,
so you're having virtual cake. You know,
yes.
That reminds me, many, many years ago, I mean, I was like a child, and I went to, with school, we went to a play. And then they were talking about this guy had made wind cookies, so wind biscuits in the play. So when my husband sometimes asks, well, what did you make for breakfast? Because I don't make breakfast. I said, I made you some wind eggs and wind toast. And so, but that's what you're basically doing. You're having a wind cake. You're just looking at it, you're enjoying it, the memory of it, and you don't have to eat it. Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, after we watch these, sometimes we'll be like, well, wait a minute, how can we make that but where it's healthier for us? So I've done stuff like I've made cottage cheese ice cream. Yeah, it's better for you. And what was the other thing although this wasn't too good, I think I made a cake, and I used that powder egg substitute. Yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty. I'll never do that again. But even like we were talking about how the Kit Kat and the Twix bar, the chocolate aisle, I made chocolate brownies out of black beans.
Right.
And they were delicious. Now look at it. You see, I'm talking food because it's lunchtime here.
Okay, well, it's supper time here nearly. So.
Hannah, I want to thank you so much. It's been a true honor. And now for the books, they'll be able to get that from the website as well, right?
Well, I think with the book, I say, please sign up for the iThrives, the gift that I have. And then when the book comes out, you'll hear all about it.
And those of you listening, when you do sign up for the app and you've tried it, we know you're going to subscribe to it. Let me know what you thought about it. Leave comments, in wherever you listen to the podcast at, or on the Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever. And actually let Hannah know as well. Hannah, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I had a wonderful time being here. And again, for the listeners, thank you for being here all this time.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com.